Hello Seekers, welcome to Punneit Astrology, your one-stop astro channel. Lunar Eclipse, the annual phenomena which happens after a solar eclipse, will happen on 5th of May. 5th of May will experience a lunar eclipse which is a penumbral lunar eclipse which is called Upachaya. That means moon will not come under direct shadow of the earth. It will be more like a partial eclipse. So there is no sutak. That means there is no restrictions for any auspicious activity, but there are certain schools of thought which think that there is a sutak. It is totally up to you how you want to take it. But the thing is that this eclipse is a very important eclipse, especially because during the time while the eclipse is in effect, the moon is changing nakshatra. It starts with Swati and then it moves to Vishakha nakshatra on the night of 5th of May as per Indian Standard Time. So you have to ensure that this changing nakshatra, the changing energies, going from Rahu to Jupiterian nakshatra, going from Swati to Vishakha, and Vishakha, which is a very aggressive nakshatra, Vishakha, which is a nakshatra which represents dualities, two opposite forces of nature, bifurcation, the division of something, branching of something, will also affect the mind because Ketu also represents cutting down, branching and divisions. So this is a very divisive nakshatra which will divide the mind into many segments. This is going to be differentiating in nature and not integrating. So definitely your mind will be in many pieces, multiple thoughts, many options, sometimes good, sometimes bad. But the best way to handle the energies of eclipse is keeping your mind calm, cool and composed. And if you feel that you are unable to do so, then you have to follow the path of spirituality. Moon and Ketu means following the internal path, following the spiritual path. And this is an eclipse which will impact your heart and mind. Now, who will be mostly impacted because of this? If you are in Moon Mahadasha, if you are in Ketu Mahadasha or each other's Antardasha, if you are in Libra Charadasha, if you have majority of planet in Libra, if you have planets in Moon or Ketu's nakshatra, if you are a Cancer ascendant, Cancer moon sign native, then this eclipse is going to affect you the most. If you are born with Moon Ketu, Moon Rahu, Saturn Moon, Moon in 6th, 8th or 12th, Ketu in 6th, 8th or 12th, if you are born under an eclipse, be it solar or lunar, this will also affect you the most. For all other natives, for all other horoscopes, this will be a general eclipse affecting the mind in a very generic way, and most of you will be able to handle the energies pretty well. But there will be a lot of people who will experience the dynamic energies, this devising energy of the eclipse, and this dividing energy will also keep them on the edge, keep them on the toes, because you don't know where to apply the mind, which part to give preference, how to prioritize your life. So this is the time when you will have to be very relaxed, keep your calm, be very cool, don't overreact, and maybe just let it be business as usual, and focus only on the chanting of mantras. Now see the position of moon with respect to other planets. When moon is in Ketu in Libra, Saturn will be 5th from the position of moon in Aquarius. Therefore, you will have a lot to learn through the experience that you will have during the time of eclipse. So all of you who can should document your experience, your thoughts, your dreams, how your life carries forward during this time, and avoid any trigger that forces you to take impulsive action. Also, the 9th from this eclipse will experience both Venus and Mars. Now, Venus and Mars is 1/7 lord of the eclipse. Therefore, being in the 9th house, this can make you take the path of adharma. Love and love-related matters will come under scrutiny. There will be controversies. So try to refrain from any lustful action, those kind of emotions which will be always on the thought. Because one part of your mind will be engaged, because that might come in your mind as a part of relief. But then that is not the way you should take any relief in your mind. That's not a stress buster during this time. You have to focus more on creative forces. You have to think it to be a unition of the masculine and the feminine. And you have to also, if you're a man, you have to get in touch with your feminine side. And if you're a female, you have to get in touch with your masculine side. And try to bring in under this balancing, because the most important activity that will happen during this eclipse, the most important phenomena of this eclipse is that you will be forced to rebalance and recalibrate your life. So a lot of recalibration will happen, and I will say this is an eclipse of soul realignment. Because of the trine with the moon, we'll experience Saturn, Ketu, Mars. In front there is Rahu. So you can see the moon is surrounded by all the malefics. But then sun is exalt, which is the 11th house lord from the moon. This is Purnima, full moon day. This is a Buddha Purnima. It's a very auspicious time. So it's a very good time to do mantra sadhana, mantra chanting done during this day on the 5th of May, and then for the next 1 week will bring you a lot of positive results. You can rewire your brain. This is also the time when, if your mind is divided, you will know which part to throw away. It is going to decouple a lot of things. It will decouple emotions. It will decouple relations. And then you will be in a better position to actually recalibrate the wiring in your brain and decide which part of your life is toxic, which part of it is non-toxic, something that can be thrown away or something that has to be left, should be left and given up. And then there will be things which you will have to absorb, maybe restart. Because this is a lunar eclipse, it will affect your mind. So it is best that if you can sit with these thoughts and plan something out of it. Don't react. Don't do any action on it yet. Let the 10-15 days pass. Come out of the energies of eclipse and then rework on these energies, and you will see that you will get some conclusion. Something you will get to know about your life, your abilities, your talent. Because there will be a lot of passion. There will be a lot of courage. So people who have talent, hidden talent, will come out during this time. You might discover your own talent and your own potential, but then you will have to be very practical about it. Like you cannot just quit your job or business in the middle just because you think you can. You have to have a practical plan. You must substitute. If you are substituting something in your life, you must ensure that you're not degrading yourself. You're only upgrading. It will be an uplifting time if you are being internal, but if you become very material during this time, it will become a very bad eclipse. Libra knows balance. Libra knows diplomacy. Libra knows relations. And when there is an eclipse, it affects all these things negatively. So it is only through maturity and awareness, for which I am making this video, that you will be able to handle the outcomes of this eclipse, the outcome of the thoughts on it, the multiple thoughts and the multiple outcomes which you will imagine, that what will happen, this thing, that what will happen. This thought itself can be very troublesome and overwhelming for a lot of people, especially if your moon is afflicted. So this is the time when you have to just let it be, enjoy your life, relax, and walk a straight path, walk in a straight motion, and take one step at a time, one task at a time. 5th is Saturn. Focus on Saturn, not on Ketu. When Moon and Ketu are together, it is also the time when you can have moksha. Moksha means liberation, but from what? From problems in your life. So if you're too troubled by life, extremely, and you have tried everything, then chant Gajendra Moksha, Vishnu Sahasranam, and ask God to free you from all the problems. And because eclipse is the time when the divine forces, this Kundalini, is very active, you will see that the spiritual growth that you will attain during this time will be much higher compared to other days, and maybe God will listen to you. So let's discuss for each ascendant how this eclipse will span out. This is for ascendant wise, but you can also watch it if you know your moon sign, but just keep it on a mental level, because for ascendant it is more like what you will see in the physical world. From the moon sign it will be what you will experience. Say you have a Taurus ascendant but Libra moon sign, you can watch the Taurus part as your ascendant, and you can go and watch the Libra part, but take it only on the psychological level. So please subscribe to my channel. Subscription really matters. sharing my video. If you can share the video among family and friends, that also really matters to me, so that more and more can stay connected. We are very close to being a family of 100,000 astrological seekers. So let's start this process of becoming a bigger family, and this will also help me bring more such videos to you. Stay connected, subscribe, like the video, comment your views in the comment section, follow me on Instagram and Telegram for interesting stuff. All the links are in the comment section below, description box below. And for consultations, please drop me an email. You can also WhatsApp me. That will also be provided in the description box below. Let's start the ascendant wise analysis. Aries ascendant. For Aries ascendant, the eclipse will be in the 7th house. Now, when the eclipse is in the 7th house, it is going to affect your marriage. This is a lunar eclipse, and this eclipse will also affect the 4th house because your 4th lord is moon. This eclipse, because it is shifting nakshatras from Swati to Vishakha, you have to be very careful about the dualities of life. Your mind will be, you will be in two minds, especially with perspective of marriage if you are married, and this is also going to affect your overall personality. The circumstances will be slightly troublesome or difficult, or at least they will appear to be difficult for the next, you can say, 10-15 days. So what you should do is that you should be cautious, especially because from 10th of May, Mars will become debilitated. I will make another video, but this indicates that you should be cautious about your own lagna, your own ascendant. Just now you have experienced a solar eclipse, now you are experiencing a lunar eclipse, which alters the state of mind, the way you perceive things, and especially if you are going to do any auspicious event during the eclipse time, it is better to avoid, especially if the event is related to marriage, griha pravesh, or buying a property related to office, commercial property, or doing something that is auspicious in the commercial space. Try to postpone it for some time. 7th house also indicates the circumstances that you deal with. So moon and Ketu combination and the eclipse with the moon will make you slightly uncomfortable. You may have to address situations in life that you never wanted to address. Maybe you will be put into situations which will bring discomfort in your life. So you take care of that. Few things will be inevitable. So going with the flow is the key during the time of eclipse. Chanting Hanuman mantra, empowering your Mars by chanting Angarak Stotra or Mangal mantra will be helpful, especially on the day of eclipse. If you can donate food, it will be great. Eclipse is also going to affect your the lust and the sensual part of life, especially during marriage. So there can be conflicts because of that. There can be extramarital affairs that can come up during this time, some controversy. So try to stay away from all such tamasic things in life. Try to avoid onion and garlic also in the food for some time, and try to be as sattvic as possible. And you can also chant Bhagavan Shiva mantra Om Namah Shivaya and take a sankalp to visit a Shiva temple for the next say 11 Mondays. So by this you can actually absorb that eclipse energy and convert it into a creative force. Sometimes you just have to observe and not react, and that is what you should do. Taurus. For Taurus ascendant, this eclipse will happen in your 6th house. Now, if you observe, 6th house eclipse is going to, on one side, reduce the enemies because it is going to bring an eclipse on your negativity. But it also means that through your own efforts, through your own expression, you can create enemies. You will see that your brother or people whom you thought are your brother, like brothers, will turn their face away from you, and you may be backstabbed or cheated during this time, because 6th house eclipse can bring the hidden enemies on the surface, including the negative energy, the toxic environment in which you live. If there is any planning or plotting happening, a politics happening around you, that will also come up. However small it is, it may be exposed during this time. You may You should not engage into any debate, fight, court case during this time, because then enemies will be more powerful. But the good thing that this eclipse will do is it will bring it on the surface, so that now you are in a better position to deal. Why? Because your Lagna Lord, Venus, is actually in the second house along with Mars. So this is going to give you the resource to actually counter the negativity. So it is a good time. So what you should do is you should sit with all the negative events and the negative qualities that you have experienced or that you know about yourself, not on the day of eclipse, maybe 2-3 days after the eclipse, maybe after 8th of May. Sit with those qualities, write it on a piece of paper, and then make sure that for the next 40 days you will work on them. And you will see there will be a dramatic change in your own personality. Not a good time to take any loan, but a good time to cut the debts. Any debts taken, even taking a gift during this time, should be considered as a debt. So be very careful and do something to cancel out the loans. At least make a plan. Remember, eclipse is lunar, so it will affect your mind more. And because your third house is ruled by moon, it will affect your third house more. Don't try to engage into fights with your neighbor. This can also create unnecessary travel and then disputes from travel or difficulties in short journeys. This can also impact your health the most. So you will have to be very, very careful, especially in the areas of shoulder and the areas that are related to stomach. Eat food right, and don't show the power, because sometimes when you point finger on someone, you are like waging a war, and waging a war during this time will not be suitable. This is the time to be humble, inclusive. This is the time to relax, focus on what you can do and what you cannot. Knowing your limits and respecting your limits in personal and professional front is the best way to handle the eclipse energies. And you will see when you are transmuting this negative to positive, it will help you in the long run. Also, you should chant Narsimha Kavach if you feel that you are threatened by negative energies. And if you have an afflicted moon, if you are in moon Mahadasha or Ketu Antardasha, you should chant Chandra Bij mantra and donate water. Gemini. In case of Gemini, this eclipse will happen in your 5th house. So definitely it is going to impact the intelligence part, the part of the wisdom. And you will also see that this might cloud your wisdom for a very short duration, and you may react to situations in life which you should not have done in the first place. But the moment it translates into karma, the karma will have consequences. So be aware of that. Couples who are trying for childbirth will see negative, energies during this time. So you should not try for childbirth during this time, like 10-15 days, like from today till say 15th of May. Also, you will see that the emotions during this time will not be expressed positively, and you will end up expressing more negative emotions, or you will come in contact with people who are expressing the negative emotions. Now, venting out is important. Also, being for someone, standing for someone that you love is also important. In such a case where there is a dharma sankat and you have to follow this path, after this conversation, like whatever conversation you have, the negative one, take a glass of water, pray to Ma Mahashiva, and chant 11 times Mahamrityunjay mantra and drink that water. Think that water is a medicine. It is a psychosomatic remedy. Think that water is a remedy, and it will heal you and bring that healing energy through you. You can also learn pranic healing during this time. This will also invoke spiritual centers of your body. So if you're a sadhaka, it's a great time. Now, because it is 5th house, it will impact your productivity. It will make you worry more towards your children. If your children doesn't stay with you, if they are away, you'll be worried about their problems, and those things will trouble your mind. So, but the thing is that because Jupiter is aspecting it from the 11th house and Jupiter rules your 10th house, you are more or less sorted here. Unless you have a very acute yoga of moon in your chart, you don't need to worry much. There will be a air of disappointment, but that can be countered with logical explanation to yourself. So a self-check and a self-filter is important, and if you chant mantra jap, if you chant Rudrashtakam or any Shiva mantra, simply Om Namah Shivaya, or if you simply do the Nad Brahma Pranayam or simply Om chanting, that is more than enough to manage eclipse energies. But yes, digestion will be a problem. Drink plenty of water and eat light. Cancer. For Kark Lagna, for Cancer Lagna, this eclipse is very important because your ascendant lord is moon, so it is going to affect your ascendant. This eclipse will happen in your 4th house, which is also the Kal Purusha's bhava of moon. So for you, the mind will be impacted the most. You will feel more concerned about your mother's health. You will feel more troubled by the news that you hear from the surroundings. This also can affect your comfort area. There may be some health issues, especially as anything that is associated with your breathing or lungs. If you have a problem related to chest, you should be careful. But there will be a slight uneasiness. Maybe you will feel slight heaviness in your mind. It can be because of any old trauma. It can be because of any event in your life. But for sure, this is going to uncover some old, deep-seated childhood issue in your life. So if you feel that you are troubled, you have to talk to someone. Maybe a counselor, maybe a person whom you trust the most. Just share your feelings. Obviously, not to someone who can use it against you, but someone whom you can trust. But obviously, not around eclipse, like 3-4 days after 5th of May. You have to be very careful about who you consider to be your true friend and your true enemy, because this is the time when you might also see that somebody who is your true friend might go against you and you might lose friends. Anything that has to do with property, real estate, assets, car, renovation should not be done for this 10-15 days. See, the eclipse is just a trigger, and this trigger can create a series of chain reaction and a series of triggers that may cascade into effect that may last for 6 to 8 months. So considering that the astrological eclipse will not create a problem, don't think. It is a Ketu moon conjunction, and you have to also understand that the dispositor of the moon is with Mars. The trine of this eclipse is rigged with negative planets like Saturn and Mars. Although their position is okay, but mind may not take it positively. You might feel that there is no future. You might feel claustrophobic. You might feel that you are trapped. In such cases, you have to share these feelings, and you will need a spiritual guidance. In this case, you can chant Hanuman Chalisa. Also, you can chant the Hanuman mantra Om Shri Hanumate Namah. Om Shri Hanumate Namah. Just a basic Hanuman Naam Jap, or a basic Hanuman mantra, which is like Manojavam Marutatulya Vegam Jitendriyam Buddhi Matam Varishtam Vatatmajam Vanara Youth Mukhyam Shri Ramadutam Sharanam Prapadye. By taking the blessings of Bhagwan Shri Ram and Bhagwan Hanuman, you will be able to easily cross through any negative vibration of this eclipse. Not that every Cancer moon sign or ascendant native will face this, but especially if you have moon Mahadasha, Antardasha, Ketu sequence coming into place, if there is some connection where this eclipse is affecting a certain planet in your life, or if you are in a certain medical condition or the family condition is difficult, then this might affect you negatively. It might make you think more than usual, and that overthinking will create problems. So think about that and try to keep yourself busy, engage in positive activities, and maybe thinking positively will work wonderfully here, and doing the affirmations like Aham Brahmasmi will help you in the long run. Leo. Now, in case of Leo, Simha Lagna, the eclipse will be a very crucial eclipse because this is happening in your 3rd house. This is a lunar eclipse where moon rules your 12th house. Now, because moon rules 12th and it goes in the 3rd, there will be impulsive expenses, impulsive buying, over-the-top expenses. Maybe shopping is going to make you feel comfortable. Whatever it is, try to refrain from overindulging into activities that will end up clearing your bank balance. You will also see that you will remember a long-lost contact, a long-lost friend. You will also see that you will have to face a hidden fear or a hidden enemy during this time. Maybe an old phobia or a fear might resurface back. In all the cases, remember that Bhagwan Krishna is always with us. Take the name of Bhagwan Krishna and chant Nrsimha Kavach, and that will help you in the long run. Moon rules your subconscious mind, and that subconscious mind will translate into your actions, and you will not be able to explain why are you taking a certain decision or an action. It is better to wait and let the time pass, because once the time passes, you will be in a much better situation to recover from the energies of eclipse and do something better. It is a time to focus on your talent, because eclipse is in Vishakha Nakshatra. It will confuse you, so better to keep yourself busy in multiple ways. Learn something, learn a new language, lead your life as normal, but whenever you feel that there is a free time, don't engage in leisure activities, but try to utilize that time for something constructive. Don't get disturbed that how and why and where you should utilize that time. If you think reading a book is good for you, read a book. What will happen? Are you wasting your time reading a book? Are you wasting your time maybe watching a documentary on say Earth and cosmos? No. Information is information. The nature of eclipse is such that it will give you it will fill your mind with multiple type of information. Fill it with something that is constructive and something that is positive. You can also utilize your free time in chanting, reading scriptures, and if you want to keep it very simple, keep a copy of Bhagavad Gita. It is available online. Read whenever you are free. Read it multiple times for the next 10-15 days. Take a sankalp of next 11 days from today, that every day you will complete Bhagavad Gita. You will not try to go deep into the meaning. You will just read it and let the mind discover the real meaning of it by itself. This eclipse can convert your energies into something new. A drastic change in your career can happen, but impulsive action can also destroy things. That is why calming yourself down and being relaxed is the better way. Financially, this will trouble you, so be very careful from the financial angle. Your action, your communication can bring your job or your business in trouble, so refrain from making any controversial comments or statements. But overall, you will see once 10-15 days passes, you will feel much better. Virgo. Now, in case of Virgo ascendant, the eclipse will happen in your second house. Now, for any horoscope, second house is very important because it is your dhan bhava. So definitely this is going to bring in concerns related to your finances, the resources that you have. You may be just worried. Even if you have everything, you will be just worried that will it last forever? You may be worried for some other person's resource. You will see someone hungry and you will feel that you will have that compassion. So that emotion will enter your mind. How to counter that? If you are in abundance, help someone who lacks something, because he is also under the effect of eclipse and you are also. And if you are lacking something, if you are watching this video and if you think you don't have enough resources, try to utilize what you have in the bestest possible manner, and you have to trust God that the resource will come to you. Chanting Mahalakshmi mantra will be blissful during this time, and because moon rules your 11th house, you have to be careful about your income also. Expenses will sudden expenses, uncalled expenses will take over the control of your finances, and you may end up saving very less money this month and the next month. So focus more on saving rather than spending. Also, if you have any dental issue, you have to take care of it. Try to eat less, especially on Mondays, and try to eat light. Try to keep your mind free from the negative thoughts by constantly bombarding your own brain with positive thoughts and affirmations. Chanting like Aham Brahmasmi and simple mantra chanting like Om Namah Shivaya will help you in the long run. Meditation is very crucial during this time. Also, an issue with the family member might keep you on the toes, might trouble your mind a lot. The thing is that Ketu and Moon can split your mind in multiple forms, multiple areas, like 3 members of your family are constantly trying to seek help from you, and you are supposed to be there for everyone. Now, even if you have been doing this from a very long time, you will feel overwhelmed by that emotion and that responsibility. So for some time, just relax and just pray to Bhagwan Narayan, and everything will come down to its normal state very soon. This is just an emotional setback created by the eclipse. Libra. Now, Libra will experience the eclipse on the first house. So definitely this is going to affect your mind, personality, health, aura. But the problem is, because this eclipse will spend most of the time in Vishakha Nakshatra, it is going to confuse you a lot. And because it is going to confuse you, it is better not to react, not to take any emotional decision during this time. You will remember your past, you will remember your mistakes. There will be regrets, there will be guilt. Not to everyone, but to some of you. And if you are facing that situation, and in fact from today you will start experiencing that in a very small manner, you just have to believe in yourself. Sometimes you have to remember all the success that you have achieved, why you are here, and how you actually come here. You should know that you have an element of God, an element of divinity in you, and you have to access that element through meditation, patience, and sometimes waiting is better than acting. You will also see that your attitude will become slightly difficult for others to manage, especially if you have a very negative Mars in your chart or Venus in your chart. You would want to escape from the reality. Therefore, the substance abuse is also on the card. So be very careful on this. I'm talking on the very negative side. It won't be this negative for all of you, but I want to make you aware. This is for the awareness that the eclipse can make you do all these things. Now, you know why? Because sometimes a smallest of the thought can make you do biggest of the karma. And there is no proportion. Because a small fire can create a burst of can create an outburst of flame if you lit petrol with fire. Even a small you can say chingari, the small fire, can ignite the entire tanker of petrol instantaneously. What does it mean? That sometimes there are some issues that is sitting on the horoscope and they just need these kind of triggers. So for most of you, it will just be an irritating time and you will pass on. But for those who cannot, has to be very much careful, and you should talk to somebody. And if you don't have anyone, sit in front of the temple, try to talk to God. And if there are tears rolling down your eyes, cry. Let the emotions come out and be free, because Krishna is for everyone. Chanting Hare Rama Hare Krishna mantra will be beneficial for you in the long run. Scorpio. Now, in case of Scorpio ascendant, the eclipse will happen in the 12th house, and this can be dangerous for people who spend a lot, who are into speculative business, who are into export and import. You have to be careful because 12th house represents donations and losses. So try to take a sankalp that whatever you will earn, a fraction of it, you decide the amount of money. Yatha Shakti Yatha Sambhav. You donate that money, especially to someone who needs it. You can donate towards food campaigns, distribute food. Even a bottle of water will be more than enough. A simple act of charity will allow this eclipse to turn the triggers from negative to positive. Being in the 12th house, it has the potential of your money being cheated. So be careful about financial frauds. A sudden dip in the share market can create a problem in your finances. So be careful about that. If you are going to take a travel in the next 15 days, maybe international travel, be very careful and try to go as minimalistic as possible. Also, this is the time when the subconscious mind will be rigged with negative thoughts. A lot of negativity will come. So what you should do? Ensure cleanliness of your body, of your mind, and of your house, and try to detoxify yourself. Listen to positive podcast, positive news, positive emotional things, maybe a comedy movie. Try to laugh, try to be with your family, spend less digital time, and your digital presence should be reduced to minimum, only what is necessary, and most of the time should be spent with family. And if you're alone, nobody is alone, God is with all of us. So chant the mantras of God, whatever you want to do. It is like you're free to chant. You have to hit your subconscious mind and take care of your sleep. If your sleep gets disrupted, the next few days will be difficult, and it will obviously cascade into career. Not much, but it will be a very lingering, troublesome, emotions for you. Best is to not eat things that are spicy, that can trigger the pitta, that can trigger the heat in your body. Drinking plenty of water, and then being happy and content with what you have for some time. Park your problems aside. Sagittarius. For Sagittarius ascendant, the eclipse will happen in your 11th house, and this 11th house is very important for Sagittarius natives, because this is like wish fulfilling zodiac sign. And because it also talks about gains, an eclipse on that house can hurt your profits, can hurt your gains, can hurt your income, and can hurt your career. Also, moon is your 8th lord. Although Jupiter is very strong and the 5th house exalted sun will take care, because your 9th lord is exalt and your Lagna lord, ascendant lord, is with the exalt 9th lord in the 5th house. I'll say 99% of the problems is taken care, but then 11th house is your social circle, and something in your social circle might disturb you. You might feel negative that you lack friends, or maybe you will start feeling this inferiority complex. So you'll have to see, is it in your own mind or is it a real event that is happening in your life? Because 11th house is the broader network circle. You might also want to connect with someone, but you hoped that you will be able to, but now you are not able to. So that can also bring in that emotion of inferiority. Be watchful of these kind of emotions, because this can affect and alter the state of your mind and can make you leave your job, can make you take random decisions related to career which can be harmful. Not a great time to invest somewhere. Just continue the life as it is going. No new job, no new investment, nothing new should be done for the next 10-15 days. But if it is already scheduled and if it is already there and you cannot change it, then give it with a lot of positivity. But don't hope, because Ketu means moksha, and when moon Ketu comes, it means that you will have to think about major transformations in your life, but these transformations cannot be pre-planned. It is like these events will happen and you have to deal with situation as and when they come. With your elder brother, you will have to be careful, and because there can be emotional or emotional communication or disturbing communication with your elder brother or your cousins. Try not to engage into any fight, and try not to discuss anything that can hurt anyone, especially in the social media during this time. This is the time when you will have to be you will have to be the torch bearer. You will have to show the light. You will have to be the one who will tell the black and white, and not the grey. So you will have to be very open during this time. But while you are being open, you can also be mistrusted. Your words can be misinterpreted or miscalculated. So on one side, you will have to ensure that you are the guiding light. On the other hand, you have to go defensive. And if you are very aggressive in helping someone, that may cause trouble in the personal front. Overall, this is the time of caution. Although you are protected, but still it is a time of caution. And especially if you are in Ketu, Mahadasha or Antardasha, you will have to be very careful about your own health. Overall, for Sagittarius ascendant, it will be more or less a positive transit. Capricorn. For Capricorn, the eclipse will happen in your 10th house. But the moon is your 7th lord. Now, what does it mean? It somehow mixes marriage and career. So work-life balance will be a big problem for you. You will have to balance your life, balance your family, balance your career. And sometimes, the family problems get carried to your career and starts affecting your career. And sometimes the issues of your career will disturb the marriage. That is exactly what might worry you, might trouble you during the eclipse. This can be a trigger. So for the next 10-15 days, try to keep the work and personal life separate. Try to find a right balance and see where you are needed the most. Wherever you are, because work won't end. See if you are giving less time to your family. Then try to balance it. And if you have been not working that much, if you think you have not given your 100%, then there's the time to give your 200% and somehow try to make a balance. Otherwise, your reputation in your career might be at stake. The circumstances will be such that people might raise their fingers on you, your ability, and whatever hard work you have done might be dusted, at least in your own mind. You might assume it that way. So what you will have to do is don't fall for any emotional traps, guilt traps. Don't say yes if you can't, and don't commit what you cannot fulfill. Be true to your own abilities. It is good to expand, but expansion will happen in the future. What you can do now, you should know, and you should be limited to that much only. Few opportunities will be lost in the process, few opportunities will come, but then that's life. So you'll have to live a very balanced life, and you'll also have to be careful when you are talking something with your father, because the point of view differences can create more and more trouble. There can be an emotional gap between you and your father, and you and your mentors. Also, you will have to be a team player in your office, so and whatever work you do, so that you are with everybody. Listen, but don't react. Career of your spouse may also create tensions in your life. Maybe her career is not going up to the mark, and therefore you are worried about that. So such kind of worry will be settled in the next few days. Don't panic during this time. Anxiety can come. So what you should do pranayam and chant Hanuman Chalisa during this time, and visit a temple, any temple, every day. That will help you gain that confidence. Aquarius. Now for Aquarius, the eclipse will happen in your 9th house. This is a very peculiar kind of placement, because moon rules your 6th house. A 6th lord going into eclipse in the 9th house means few prarabdha in your life will be triggered during this time. You will be forced to take that prarabdha as your dharma, and this might not be seen now, but some seed will be planted during this time, which you will see later on. And you will also see that there are some duties and responsibilities that you never wanted to do will come on you. And you will also see that there are some duties that you have been doing it, fulfilling it for a very long time, and you're tired about that, will go away from your life. So there is both an incoming duty and a relief. So it is more like a mixed eclipse for you. But this trigger being in the 9th house will not be negative for you. This is for your own good. You have to understand that difference. Moon and Ketu in the 9th house means an exalted sun, Jupiter in the 3rd house. So it will also mean that you have that ability to fulfill. It's like a gift from God. God is giving that responsibility to you. So take that responsibility. Saturn is also on your ascendant. And Saturn is watching your every thought, your every move, and take it like a test. So this eclipse is actually very important for you. If in your life you see that there are responsibilities coming your way, there are few things, doesn't matter personal or professional or from health wise, you must take care of it. It becomes your by default dharma. You cannot run away, so better to be on the boat and ride the wave rather than fighting the wave. Take care of your health, because this can trouble your lower back, this can trouble your muscle, this can trouble the lower half of your body. So try to be active, try to reduce weight during this time. Also, this is the time where you will see that your enemies, you can learn from your enemies and you can learn from the difficult situations of your life. So if you are too rigid and if you think you are the best, if you know it all, then this eclipse will create trouble. But if you are humble and you are ready to change, doesn't matter who you are, if you are ready to change, and if you are an Aquarius ascendant or moon sign, this eclipse will bring you positive results. Pisces. For Pisces, the eclipse will happen in the 8th house. Now, this is where the occult energies come under play. If you are a sadhaka, this is going to work wonderfully for you. But otherwise, this is only going to make you go round and round in thoughts, and something will happen in your life that will never come to a conclusion or a closure. So a bad time to find a closure or a conclusion, because this is the time when there is no end to the research, there is no end to fault finding, there is no end to going into the depth of something. It's like you're in a rabbit hole and you are going on and on and on, and there is no end to that. So that will be the kind of mindset. It might spiral down. But because Jupiter is in the 2nd house, because Jupiter is fighting Rahu, ultimately this will touch your core, your essence. So it's the best time to go within, find your true talent, find your true self, and try to define your personality and define your future goals. So in fact, this eclipse turns out to be extremely positive for Pisces natives, because you can do magical things during this time. Health of your mother can give you some trouble during this time. Speculative people involved in speculative business should be very careful, because the money may just go away. You might lose that money. Buying something, investing is not a good idea for the next 10-15 days, maybe a month, depending upon your horoscope. You might feel tensed towards your children, but then again, because your Lagna Lord is strong, you have to give some time. Patience is going to be the key here, and not fighting the wave, not riding the wave, but being above the wave is the key to your success. Keep your mind steady by continuous mantra jap. Do some havan and do some donation on the day of eclipse, which is 5th of May and thereafter. If you also do some fasting, it will be great if possible, if health permits. And you can buy insurance policies. You can plan how you can secure your family and your life. Those planning will give you some mental relief. But doing nothing will give you problems. So keep your mind busy and engaged during this time. But overall, Jupiter will take care of most of the negative things in your life.